What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I decided I would show you guys how I created this DIY project of my jacket that I had for about 2 years. I did it for my birthday and I just decided to record this for you guys just in case you guys would like to create this for yourselves. Again, I love Miss Marie, so if you guys are interested in recreating this for yourself, stay tuned for this video. So first I did a printout just so I can use it to form my template or just have an idea of where to construct Miss Marie. So as you can see here, I am outlining just to kind of form a print on the jacket or the hoodie so I can see where I'll be working from as a guide. Now I wanted to go time-lapse all the way in with this video, but it is tedious and it takes a bit of time. So even though I did time-lapse it, it still looks like I'm moving really slow. But I just wanted to make sure that I go through all of the details for you guys. As you can see here, how I had it transferred to the jacket is I use a pencil and I just scrub it over the detail of the cat to use that to help form an imprint on my jacket. So now with my lines, even though I could barely see them, I tried to make a better outline so I can see exactly where my cat is formed out. And I did use the template as a guide as well in doing a little bit of freehand. As you can see, while I am outlining the details, I am using my index finger and my middle finger just to widen that area to stretch it out so I can form my lines correctly. So you want to do that yourself as well, because this is a fabric, it will move around, so you can use this as help or guide to form your outline. So after I'm finished with outlining my cat, I'm using my acrylic white paint and I'm just brushing that over the cat template that I made, or the sketch that I made, and I'm just adding that so that I have a blank canvas or blank canvas to do the detailing of my cat with it. Now I found this, I don't know if this is a hack or not, but I decided to use my blow dryer just to cut back the drying time by 5,000. It literally dried this in 5 minutes or even 2 minutes to be able to finish this work in just one night. So you could do that for yourself when you are recreating this project. And I want to say I went over this with the white again, I believe 1 or 2 more times, just to make sure that all of the denim material, because with denim when using acrylic it seeped through it, so it didn't show as much. So I had to go over it again. As you can see right there, it wasn't fully white, so I went over it again with white. And this was before I found out my little blow dryer hack, or hair dryer hack. So maybe it would have helped doing it better the first time if I did it like that. But keynote for yourself in the future, use your blow dryer. So next I cut out my template, and as you can see at the back I did do a pencil again just to get those detailed areas that I wouldn't have on my cat anymore since I've outlined it. Now since that I have completed doing the outline, it is time to form my colors. So I went in with making my own gray. The gray that I purchased was more of a shimmer color. It wasn't given that color that I needed, so I used gray to outline because black was too harsh. I wanted to give it almost like a 3D effect. So I wanted gray to be my shadow areas because Marie is a white cat, so I didn't want to use black to have it be so sketched out in clip art or cartoony. I wanted her to look 3D. As you can see, as I'm going through, I am forming my shadows in the areas that I see fit. And I'm using the template again as a guide just to see where my shadow points are. And I just wing some of the areas and put it in where I feel it would be. And all of the areas that are not outlined altogether will be outlined later on in the video. Now I'm just going in with my black since I've half outlined my cat. I'm going in with my black and I'm just going to paint the areas that had black in the picture. Like I said, I didn't want to go in with black to outline the whole cat. I wanted my cat to look 3D. So I'm just going in into details and doing exactly what I see because I want my cat to turn out just like my template. So I'm doing the eyebrows and I'm going to be doing her beautiful lashes and her eye and her whiskers and her nose and her chin area with the black. Now that I finished working on her face, I'm going back in and adding my shadows in the areas that I see fit to make sure that she pops out. As you can see, this is where I add all my shadows. So now I'm gonna go back and forth between adding grays and whites to make sure that the light areas don't overpower the dark areas, and just to make sure that it still looks like a white cat. How I achieve making my darker gray and my lighter gray: if I want a darker gray, I add a bit more black, and if I want my gray to be a bit more lighter, I take some away from that dark gray and I add more white to it. So that is how I have these gray colors. I dib and dab into having more black or more whites. And when working with acrylic, if you're not familiar, it tends to dry quickly, so you have to work quick with the colors that you're using. So if you add the dark as your shadow and you're gonna add your light to blend in, you have to do it while it's still wet. If it's dry, it's gonna stay in place, and then you don't want your product to build up and overlap. You want it to have a nice smooth finish. So that is my tip for you guys. And just a disclaimer for you guys, I'm not a professional by any means necessary. I just use the tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years, and what I know from doing art, I use those to execute anything and everything that I want to create. So again, I am not a professional. I am just a lover of art and everything artistic. next I'm going in with coloring or detailing my bow. I did use 3 different shades of pink. I used a light pink, dark pink, and a medium pink, just to add color and contrast to my bow, to have it have like a 3D effect. As you can see, I'm almost finished touching up the bow that's on her little mane. And then I'm going to be using my blow dryer to help dry that, so I can go on to putting in the details of the shades of the colors. So as you can see here, I'm using my blow dryer. I'm just using it to help me just dry that down just a little bit, so I can go into to retouch it to make it a bit more darker, like I did with the white. So the white was a little bit pale on the denim jacket, so I went over that with white again. So I'm doing that same thing here. I'm letting that dry down a bit, and then I'm going in to darken it a bit more with another round of pink. As you can see here, I'm complete with adding basically my whitewash. So next I'm going in with my white, and I'm just putting it in the areas that I feel that would be lighter in color if you're looking at it from a 3D standpoint. So I'm just adding that light pink tone to the areas of the bow that I would think would be the light areas. And I'm just using my blow dryer in between that to dry it out, so I can go into the next sections or the next coat of the acrylic paint. Now, as you can see here, I'm going in with my darker shade of pink, and I'm using that to outline the bow and to put in those darker highlights or lowlights of the bow. Now I'm just going back and forth in between my colors just to make sure that they're all blend out and I don't have any blotchiness on my bow. And I am going in between with my blow dryer just to help with the dry time process. Now that I like how my color contrast is looking on my bow so far, I'm going to go into doing that ear section. So what I did, again, same with the gray, I add white to the colors of the pink just to make it a bit more lighter. That way it has that flesh tone look. And I just dipped and dabbed in mixed colors until I'm satisfied with the color that I get. And then I went again and did the same thing and add just a bit more color to add a bit more of a darker tone to that color. That way it gives that contrast that I'm going for to again give my cat a 3D look. The same color that I made for her ears, I used that for her little cute little nose. And again, I use my blow dryer to dry that in place. And when you're using acrylic, the color may be light at first, but when it does dry, it does get a bit darker. So you want to keep that in mind just in case your color isn't as light as you would want it to be. Add a bit more white or a bit more lightness to that color and you will have the perfect color. So as you can see here, I'm using the blow dryer, and as I'm blow drying it, sometimes it gets darker. As you can see here, the pink definitely got a bit darker, and I just decided to just work with it. I wasn't seeing it being this dark as it's showing on camera, but in person I am pretty satisfied with it. But again, if you want your color to be a bit darker, a bit lighter, add more white to it. Next, I'm gonna just be re-outlining those ear wrinkles that were in her ears, and I'm just outlining that with that brighter pink that I had used earlier for her bow, and I'm just using that to add in those ear wrinkles that were in the detailed image. Next, I'm gonna be working on her eyes, her blue eyes. This looks so cute and it just stands out so much more on the finished product. So I'm just painting in her eyes, and I'm going around that little circle speck that is in those cartoony eyes. And also I did outline the eyes with a dab of white as well. And I did this process twice just to brighten up her eyes a bit. And again, I used my trusty blow tool to help chop the dry time in half. And after I'm complete with those sapphire eyes, I add back my little speck, and it just brought those eyes out so much more. Now that I'm complete with Marie, I wanted to add some type of background as she looks so plain on the back just by herself. So I decided to add that background to do like an ombre color, and I went over her outlining just so that she stands out on the back of the jacket. So I'm going in, as you can see, I went in with my lighter pink first, then my medium pink, and then my dark pink, as I wanted to have that ombre effect and a contrast between the three colors, and that just all go together with the finished product. So I just used a cotton round, and I just dabbed the colors in and just dab it around just to have that pattern going. And after I'm complete and satisfied with the finished product, I went again ahead and used my blow tool once again and dry that all in place, and this is how the finished product looks. If you guys ever tried this out, let me know how it came out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you are new, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Let me know what you think and what other projects you'd like to see me do, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.